Now that we're working on reversing the decline, what will we do now? Even in the face of such loss and devastation in the north, we of Durin's folk must celebrate. We show gratitude for our families, for our friends, and for what coming joys remain hidden. My father, dying, understood this well, and I would honor his memory. I sent invitations to all of Durin's folk, and I hope that the last of our guests are arriving now. One has spent too long away from his kin, and I do hope he sees now that his return is welcomed by all. You have served the people of the North, shown great bravery in far-off battles, and Gimli, son of Glóin, regards you as a true friend. You have earned a place at my table. Come, Pineleaf. Come, and let's have some food.
It is a day of unity for Durin's folk, as we gather to celebrate our triumph over Sauron. Welcome new allies from Mordor, and honor the return of old friends.
It is a day of great celebration for Durin's folk, Pineleaf. All around us the halls of Erebor echo with laughter and merriment. All as well as they should. This day we honor our friends and our kin, and we proclaim our victory over the enemy and those that followed him. Come, my friend, let us join the others at my table. Walk with me. There you go. A king can afford to take his time. Although my folks celebrate all around us, I have prepared a special feast for my honored guests. And here we go. One high table up here. I see Dees here. This day we honor the dwarves of Thorin's company, those that battled the enemy, those that we hold in friendship, and those we have lost. Each of them has served Durin's folk honorably, and you are no exception. So there's Dwalin. All have earned a seat at my table. And this is your seat, my friend. It was crafted in the time before Smaug came to Erebor, but now he is gone. Take a look at it if you wish. Alright, let's have a look at the seat. This stone-wrought chair bears few marks of age and appears to be surprisingly comfortable. Well, we'll see how comfortable it is to a hobbit. How do you sit in this thing? Oh, I have to speak to the king anyway. It is a fine work, is it not? I did not choose it for you on a mere whim. Yes, but a few of my guests are still absent. I sent word to Sparkorth and his warriors, but I do not know if they understood my meaning. I am certain they are about in the hall, but I wish for them to join me at my table. Sparkorth and his kin are our new friends and allies, and I would not deny them a warm welcome to Erebor. Would you seek out Sparkorth and his kin? Send them here, and that we shall soon be able to begin our feast. Very well. That chair will remain empty for a little while, as I find the ambassador somewhere in this hall. I haven't seen Sparkorth yet, but I did see the scrap of paper. Where's part of that book? Well, it doesn't look like it's going to be all that easy to translate. I think I finally found some of them. Well, I suppose if they join them in celebration, that's good enough. Hello there, Sparkorth. Having a good time? Oh, Pineleaf, how good to see you. It has been quite a celebration already, don't you think? I have never heard such songs or seen such dances, but I am pleased to be welcome among Durin's folk. Do you wish to join us? Well, you've been summoned to the king's table. Oh, of course, we accept his invitation. It would be a great honor to feast with the King Thorn, and to thank him again for the kindness he has shown my people. Drury, Noth, come with me. That's enough dancing for now. Did you not hear me? We must go. The king under the mountain summoned us. Nath, did you hear Sparkarth? Come with us. Oh, fine. I'm sorry to leave you, my friends, but I will return. There you go. Now it's time. As I can finally get to eat. Examining chairs, speeches. Of course, they run off ahead of me. Finding dwarves, finding pages that have strange letters on them, all sorts of things. Ah, there you go. Oh, yet glowing. Oh, Pineleaf, I am glad to see you here at our table. You're a fine adventurer and ever a friend to those in need, and your presence here is well earned. You're not unlike my Gimli, except you were courteous enough to attend at the time King Thorin requested. I know Gimli is here in the hall, but I have not seen him in some time. I think he has gone off with Dory and Nori, but who can say? Will you find him and send him here? For that matter, send Dory and Nori as well. Oh, we cannot wait all day for the feast to begin. Well, I'll agree with you on that matter. Well, I think I saw them down this way. Or perhaps up this way would be a better term for it. Let's see. Think I saw them around. Ah, here they are. Ah, hello. Gimli? Oh, Pineleaf! I did not realize we had been speaking for so long. You see, I have been talking to Dory and Nori about my adventures, and I had just mentioned the book I discovered in the halls of Khazad-dûm. It concerns their brother, Ori, and Balin's expeditions, but I should not tell you such stories on a day of celebration. It is not the time for such things. We shall go join the king under the mountain at this table at once. All of this talk has made me hungry. All of the running about has made me hungry. Aye, that's enough tales for now. Let's not keep the king waiting. There you go. Now, back to the table. Now I hope everyone is here. Well, we have a bench there that's empty. Well, okay, that's the king's chair. There's my chair. Bomber, maybe? Alright, I've brought them back. No, there's Bomber. Thank you for getting my folk, Pineleaf. There is little sense of having a feast if there is no one in which to share it with. This is a fine assemblage of friends and kin, but one of my guests has still not arrived. It was he I hoped most of all, for this long absence from his people should be ended. Let us wait for just a few more moments for his arrival, and then we shall begin the feast. All right. It seems one of our guests has not yet arrived. You have been patient, my friends, but let us wait a moment longer on his behalf. To remember who it would be. Well? I wonder who it is. Let's see. Nori, Dory, Bofer, Beefer. Well, I suppose we've waited long enough. Before we begin, I would like to thank each of you for honoring me with your presence. Durin's folk now are at peace once more. Oh, wow, what's going on? What's this? Hail, King under the mountain! The journey was long, but we came as swiftly as we could. I am sorry, I do not recognize you, my friend. But who is your companion? Oh, Nar! It has been a long time. Nar! You have traveled far indeed, from the distant comb of Thor to our home in Erebor. You have borne our old exile with Erebor as a burden of your own, and that has now ended. It is my honor to welcome you to our halls. Will you join you and your companion join us for the feast, old friend? Old indeed. You look quite young for your age, King Thorin. Yes, I think a meal is just the thing. Sounds like a Nar answer if I've ever heard one. Have a seat, old friend. There will be time enough for talk later. Well then, Nar made quite a journey. It brings great joy to see the many dwarves of Durin's folk and our kin from the east united once more. If we do not recognize and celebrate such times of peace, it is certain they will be lost to us evermore. Ah, I have spoken enough. Let's share the feast together. Well, I can eat to that. It was a fine enough meal once it started. Thank you for the hospitality, Your Majesty. I am honored that you could attend, Pineleaf. It was a bountiful feast, and I am glad to have shared it with you. I do not know where your adventure shall take you next, but I am certain you will be prepared for it. Be well in your travels, and know that you are always welcome in the halls of Durin's folk. Ooh, let's see what I get. I suppose this will do. And we have finished our work in the halls of Durin's folk. But what about dragons? Hail there! I was wondering if it's possible for someone to be a tamer of dragons.
Stay a moment. Hear my words.
A tamer of dragons is Karazgar. Why, that reminds me of an old tale. It is said that Smaug's grudge against Durin's folk began when he woke, far to the north, to a dead worm's head, with an axe left in it. Much like what you see before us. Could that have been his weeping warrior? These servants of Sauron are deathless, are they not? But what is it he wants with an old dragon bones? Bah! I am no expert in dragons, but there are dwarves in Erebor who are. Why don't you speak with Runi, Spal, Frothy, Mogsal, and Bilger? They are counted among the most learned lore masters. Alright. Let's see what we could learn about dragons from them. And I believe this is Frothy. Hail there!
Greetings, friend.
I shall speak of Scatha the Worm, which is of great interest to me, and indeed touches in many ways on the lives of all of us who have come to dwell here under the mountain. It was long ago, and far to the north in the grey mountains, that Durin's folk disturbed the slumber of the great dragons, Scatha among them. Many dwarves and their friends paid for that mistake with their lives, and a few dragons as well. But not Scatha. Swift and cunning was he, and fled that place to trouble the world above. Nor did trouble end with his death, for men fought with dwarves over Scatha's hoard, and though the greater portion of it was stolen from us, all we ever had of the treasure was a string of Scatha's teeth. They are kept even now, here in the lonely mountain. If you wish to see them, you might ask Gorsim, keeper of the vaults. Scatha's teeth. Ooh, the Weeping Warrior, though, is looking for pieces of smog. Was he also stealing Scatha's teeth? Interesting thought. Hello, Rooney. What could you tell me of the lore of dragons?
Long live Thorin Stonehelm, king under the mountain!
Smog? Why, yes, of course. It is common knowledge the cunning worm seized this very mountain from the dwarves and made it his lair for many long years. What fewer know is that whence Fog the Golden came. The answer, of course, is the north, where the great dragons dwelled. Why he came south I cannot say, but it is written that his hatred of the dwarves runs old and deep, ever since discovering 5 young worms slain, and wrongly blaming Durin's folk. And that, of course, was the work of the Weeping Warrior, as we recall in that vision and in other sources. So where else can we find a lore master and that vault keeper? Hail there, Spall. I was wondering if you could tell us anything about dragons.
Greetings, friend.
Dragons. Dragons. Well then, have you ever heard the name of Hrimil Frostheart? Aye, one of the oldest and most feared of her kind, mother of many cold drakes who have filled the world with terror. One these stout axes told me another tale, claiming that Hrimil had somehow been captured by Sauron and was held in Barad-dûr. I cannot quite decide whether to believe this fellow or not, but all the same, I find myself wondering if the old cold drake was crushed beneath Barad-dûr when it fell. Interesting question. Or did Sauron do something else with it? But I'm sure that the Weeping Warrior had something to do with it. Hellburger, what could you tell me about dragons?
A glorious day!
The stout axes have filled my ears with tales of Thostir, a fire drake whom they say escaped the abyss of Mordath upon the plain of Gorgoroth. I have done some reading of old texts, and I believe that Thostir may just be the dragon who laid waste the dwarf kingdoms of the eastern mountains in times of old. Of course, we may never know for certain. Of course. And I need to find one more of these lore masters. And I think this might be a final lore master. Hello there, Magsal.
Long live Thorin Stonehelm, king under the mountain!
Fingar, the wingless worm, lay hidden in the grey mountains long after the other great dragons were fled or slain. From hidden places he watched the dwarf kingdoms rise and grow in wealth, and so too grew his greed until at last he came forth from hiding and laid waste to the dwarven holds, claiming their coin and craft for his hoard. That is an old telling, and little else is known, although I have also heard that greed was Fingar's undoing, and through it he became a captive of Sauron in Mordor. Then if the stout axes are to be believed, he was fought and slain shortly after Mordor fell. Bah! What nonsense! I believe it not. Well then. Well, I suppose so. Now, where is Gorseem? Hail there, Gorseem. I wish to know about the teeth of a dragon.
By my grandsire's beard.
What? What is it, Hobbit? Can you not see that I am taking a well-deserved rest?
We are dwarves and the folk of Durin.
Fine, fine. Is the teeth of Scatha you want to see, then? Oh, don't worry. I know right where to find them. And you are lucky you have found me. Those are the old vaults. Hardly any dwarf knows the way back there, other than me. And I have frothily sent you. I am happy to show them off. I would not mind taking a look at the old things myself, now that I think of it. I will return shortly. Please drink some while we wait. No, no, I insist. In fact, I will be offended if you do not. What will you find when he returns with the teeth of Scatha? We'll find that out in the next episode of Pineleaf in the North Kingdoms.